Welcome back to Where Swans Walk. This week, there's only one question. Is Williams under pressure? And if so, should he be? We're going to look back at the Millwall game. We're going to look, of course, ahead at the next game, which is away at Oxford United. And all our team here are going to vote for their player of the month. Welcome back to the quickest and most comprehensive review of all things Swansea on the internet. Let's jump straight into it. We're also asking, who would you relegate if I gave power to? But Jimmy in the middle there, is Williams under pressure for the first time this season?
It's hard. I don't think he is necessarily under too much pressure. He's under pressure for us to get a result more than anything. I don't think his job's on the line, but it's just poor. I mean, you can't go a whole month without scoring. And he said in the presser he doesn't really have an explanation for us anymore because I don't know if he knows the answer to the solution. Because if you look at the games, we are outperforming everyone we're playing. Now, the last 5 games, we've outperformed everyone bar Sheffield United, and we've come away with 2 points out of it. So it's just like, I refuse to believe this can go on forever with this sort of poor run. I feel it's got to end soon, and I'm just hoping this Saturday will be the start of a back to where we were at the start of the season rather than where we are now.
You do seem to come across teams whose goalkeeper's in fine form. Jensen for Millwall, I thought, they were already saying, and their headline is what a great game he had. So you are, this isn't poor performances, is it, James? But something's got to change quickly. What is it?
I think we have to take more risks as well. I mean, several times during the game on Saturday, you'd see us trying to drive forward. For example, Miles Pitt-Harris did it 2 or 3 times, drives into space, then slows down to a walk-in pace. And it's not just one game in isolation. It's happening over and over again. And it just feels like to me that we don't, rather than play that direct pass through or try a through ball, we are more content to pass it sideways, slow the attack down. And again, for me, that comes from coaching because it's happening time and time and time again. So it's not the players being nervous. I genuinely think he's thinking to himself, right, get as many men in the top end of the pitch, but we're doing it far too slowly. So I think we have to play quicker. And I also think that Williams needs to change the way he makes substitutes as well. His substitutions are baffling at the moment.
Deja vu there a second, isn't it? Because we could go back to the last 5 videos that we've done that says exactly that. Let's have a look at some of the social media takes, shall we? The Papa Adj says, some argue it's the players and management, not LW, but let's get real. He's been underwhelming this season. Sure, he's a nice guy, but fist bumps and pub hangouts don't win games. He's supposed to deliver solutions on the field, yet we're stuck with poor performances and stats. James says, it's the first time I truly think we must put Williams under the microscope. These players are not so bad that they can't score a goal in 8 hours. And Kai says LW can go. Now, I know we don't like calling out managers and we don't want them to go, but another tweet said this was worse than Duff football. Is it that bad, Jimmy?
No, it's not even close. I get we're not scoring, I get it's not the prettiest, but Duff was just bad. At least with Williams, you can see what he's trying to do. There was no clear game plan of the Duff at all. It was just hit and hope, and there was no system, there was no progression. It was just the same thing every week. The tweet saying he needs to go are baffling because everyone will know this. We'll end up, if we do end up sacking him, which I really doubt we will, and we shouldn't, it's going to be someone worse. We'll get someone worse in who's going to be trying to do something different or the same thing, just not as good as Luke Williams can do it. And I think it's too reactionary. It's a bad month, but the amount of bad months we had last season with Duff and with Martin, we had 3 wins in 21 games under us, and no one was calling for his head back then. So it's just have we been good? No. But is it time to be starting just throwing everything on Luke Williams? No, because the players have got to take some of this blame, because as much as the system does need to change a bit, they've got to hit the back of the net. Luke Williams can't get on that pitch and score the goals for them. They've got to start scoring goals. So I think it just depends on the players.
Okay. James, 2 solutions came up from a couple of people online. First of all, Stephanus says Grimes shouldn't be in the squad, let alone be captain. He's the most shockingly ambitionless footballer I've ever seen. No drive, no desire, no heart. He slows out games to walking pace, and our pacey wingers have no chance. Side if the ball gets to them, the opposition's defense is set. I'll come back to that one in a minute. This one says, given the lack of star quality in this squad, the onus is on the gaffer to make the team more than the sum of their parts. He's not found the formula yet. but he has to try two things. Number one, get Aom into a free role behind the striker and get Kean Timon playing wide and high. On the Grimes one, first of all, James, do you agree with what's said there?
No, not at all. I think you can criticise Grimes sometimes. He does slow things down a little bit, but I really do think that with Grimes, that he's one of those players that if you take him out of our system and had him play against us, our fans would see just how important he is to our team. I'm not really happy with him dropping deep between the centre backs all the time and almost playing as like a third centre back in a build up. It doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I think it was under Russell Martin. He's one of the most progressive passers in the league. I ideally would like to see him play a little bit further forward, and maybe just quicken up the tempo a little bit. But to say he should be dropped, they shouldn't be captain, I'm sorry. Those people are the type of people who have probably never kicked the ball before in their life and don't know what they're talking about.
Good. What about this free role behind the striker and Eam then? Let's talk about that one.
I think it'd be interesting to see him do it. Obviously, we've got to get him fit again first, but I really do think he is that little bit of star quality that we're missing at the moment. I mean, we've tried it with Ollie Cooper. He gives you loads of energy, but he just doesn't have like the Midas touch like that Eom has. I mean, you could see just how big he was for us in the early part of the season. I'd be interested to give it a go when he's back fit.
Okay. And Jimmy, what about this other one? This Kean Timon playing high and wide. We've tried that before, haven't we?
No, I think I do agree. Because at the end of the day, the wingers aren't producing. Ronaldo's been terrible this season. There's no sugarcoating. He's been awful. And with no Yom in the squad, you're leaving it to someone like Pert Harris, who's not good enough, and Abdullah, who's not a winger. So I think at that point, just play wing backs, go to a 3-back, put Norton in or put Abbey in or something like that, and just try something new. Or even keep the 4 and sort of keep Ronaldo in and give Josh Key a bit more freedom to go a bit further forward and sit Norton in behind him, because especially in the Blackburn game, I believe it was, every chance we had came through Josh Key on the right-hand side, just whipping balls in, and there's so much better accuracy on his crosses than Ronaldo. I think I've seen Ronaldo beat the first man once this season. It's embarrassing, but Key was putting some decent balls in that game. So I think we need to give more freedom.
All right. Drop us a comment if you've got any other further ideas how Swansea can find the first goal. Good news and bad news, and about your next opponents. Bad news is it's Oxford United away, who haven't lost at home yet and have scored in every home game. The good news is that they are massively out of form. They haven't won like you guys in the whole of the month of October, and have got key injuries to key players. So, James, this is it, isn't it? October's gone. November will start. There's going to be no tricks and all treats come Saturday. Lost him.
I wish I could share in the optimism there, but whenever we play Oxford, I think we all know what happens. Every time we've played up there, it's never been straightforward. And every time I've gone there to watch, it's always been a monumental collapse. We had the John Joe Shelby incident way back in the Prem, and the Cup game with Russell Martin where we were absolutely dreadful. But I do feel like if they are badly out of form, we might be able to pinch something while we're up there.
Okay. Jimmy, do you give him much hope?
It's hard to be optimistic because we haven't scored a goal in 435 minutes. But I don't know. As you said, they're out of form, but they haven't won in October. But granted, they did score a goal in October, so it's already better than what we did. But we just need to find. I think the second we get the goal, it should change our fortunes a bit more, because we just need to find the back of the net. Because that's all our problem is. Because if you look at all the games, we're dominating the game, we're having more chances, we just can't score the goal. So as I said, a team who's scoring a lot at home, it does scare me a bit, because I feel like if we go 1-0 down, you might as well just call off and go home, because at this rate, we will not score a goal. And if they go 1-0 up, as I said with Blackburn, it was so obvious when they were 1-0 up, that game was done. So we need to not only score, but get the first goal and try and cement ourselves on a game again, because we haven't done that for a long time.
Okay. Well, I think it's going to happen this weekend. I might even have it as both teams to score. It's going to happen. Watch this space. All right. Thank you very much, you two. I need to ask you for your October Player of the Month. So I'm guessing I'll have to go to a defender. Given the lack of goals, we've lost James. Jimmy, you're on your own with this one.
It's not an easy one, I'll be honest. I can't really think, because apart from last month where it was all happy and rosy and I had about 7 options I could have picked from. This month's more like, can I think of anyone to pick from? I'll probably give it to... I'll go either Kabanga or Vigouroux. I can't really decide. But again, there's just consistently solid performances. As I said, we can't really complain defensively. We have been fine. We may have lost 6 games, but they've all been 1-0. We haven't lost a game by more than a goal this season. So I think it's got to go to a defender this month because it definitely cannot be an attacker. So I'll go, if I had to pick one, I'll probably go Kabanga because he's just been solid all month, really. I can't really have any complaints with him.
Okay. James, if you're still with us, we're on October Player of the Month.
I agree with what James was just saying just there now, is that it's got to be a player who's been doing the work defensively. I think for me, it's Gonzalo Franco. I think whenever the guy plays, he rarely puts a foot wrong, always full of energy, always looks like he's up. So yeah, I'll say Franco for me.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Before we finish, just a couple of things. Watford fans are complaining about Sheffield Wednesday charging them £36 to go and watch at Hillsborough. They wanted to congratulate you guys for charging them just the 20 and the reciprocal pricing because they come to Swansea, I think, very shortly after. How much is too much for an away ticket these days for you guys? Do you think? You do a lot of travelling. I know both of you do, but how much is too much?
20 is plenty. I think that's the thing I can summarise it down to. It's enough. It does not need to be more. I think, I said, because obviously I still fall in the under 23 bracket, whatever. So for me, if I'm spending more than £20 for an under 23 ticket, I think that's extortionate because at this level, it's just not. I think Oxford was 18, which is fine. I can live with it. But there's plenty of clubs who do it really well. Like I've been to so many away days before where it's been like £6-7 for a ticket and it's great. And then I've been on the other end of the spectrum where it's like 35-40 for a ticket and it's horrific. But I think 20 is plenty, I think, and it doesn't need to be any more than that.
Yeah, well said. James?
Anything over £30 for me, and I'm already questioning whether I want to go there or not. I don't understand. It's almost like you're trying to punish fans for travelling. Again, so the reciprocal prices I think are fantastic, and it does encourage people to go to the games. So if you can offer lower prices, I'm all for it.
Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, well done, Swansea. Offering £20 tickets to Watford. All right, then. We are in the midst of Halloween, so we're asking you to be a little bit evil. And if I could give you the power to relegate any 3 clubs from this division that just get on your nerves, the fan bases are annoying, who would it be? No prizes for guessing one of them, but we'll throw it open to you anyway. Jimmy, who'd you like to give it of?
See, I don't know if it is. I don't know if I do want Cardiff to go because part of me just likes playing them because bar this year we seem to win every time. So I still probably have to say Cardiff just because it's them, and it'd be funny to see them go down. I'm trying to think of clubs we never beat. Stoke's a bit of an annoying one. It just never goes well against Stoke 99% of the time, so I wouldn't mind if they were relegated. And I'll probably go. I'm trying to think of I'd get rid of Leeds. They're just annoying to play against. We lose by 3-4-0 every game we play them. Just get rid of them. Don't need to be here.
Fair dues. James?
I'm going to have to agree with James on Stoke. There's just something that psychologically our team go to pieces whenever they play Stoke. I've never got happy memories of travelling up there. I wouldn't relegate Cardiff just because I like beating them all the time. So, yeah, they can stay as the whipping boys. I'd probably say Preston would be one because, again, whenever we seem to go to Deepdale, we don't really tend to do so well. So that's another one where we don't tend to pick up a lot of points. And the other one is Leeds. Oh, my God, just because of the ego. They think they're like the biggest club in the world. They think they're like Real Madrid when they're not even the biggest team in Yorkshire. So, yeah, get rid of them as well.
All right, 3 good shouts there. All right, drop in the comments below who you would get rid of. Thank you all very much, and we'll catch you at the other side, of course, of the Oxford results with a goal to talk about next week. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, are we setting world records yet? It's the longest spell. Is this actually a record?
No, it's
For
our
Swansea?
longest since 1996. I think they said it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Goal this weekend. Absolutely. It's gonna happen. Trust me. We'll speak about it next week. See you then.